Hello, everybody out there. This is the tittle of the day for today, and today it's over female fallen angels. Okay, and um, you know, we know from Corinthians, Paul says that Satan can transform himself into an angel of light, and his ministers can do the same type of thing. Um, and we can see also, that angels can change their form. If you look at the Book of Giants, they even changed into different type of animals, or Enoch and such as those books. You can see that they could change form, right? And also the cherub. When you see the cherub, they have face of a man, face of a bull, face of a cherub, right? Face of the eagle or lion, different things like that, right? So it's interesting that they can change form, right? Even Peter, like when Peter was in prison and chained to the guards, the angel came through the door like a spirit almost, and then took him out through the gate and all these other things. So they can manipulate, I guess, time, space, and matter in a way that, it's hard for us to comprehend, right? Because we're trapped in it, right? So, a lot of people will say that angels are only men, and I don't believe that now, especially like after I did this study. I look and I can see like these different things that either they're female like angels or fallen angels, or could be demons also. But it's just interesting if we look at it. Okay, so everybody, I guess, a lot of people have heard of Lilith, because in the 90s there was like the Lilith fair, so people have heard the name, I guess. But Lilith in the Hebrew traditions and beliefs was Adam's first wife, and she rebelled against Adam and God, and she said the unpronounceable name of the Father, and then she turned into a demon or something else and flew away. Okay, and then so now she's supposed to be like a succubus. Okay, that the incubus and a succubus. A succubus is a female sexual demon or fallen angel or whatever, that attacks you at night, sexually and things like that. So, and I guess it does other things too, but I don't really get into demonology that much. I just kind of try to stick with what the Bible says. But we can see these type of things, and sometimes like Lilith is described in the scriptures, but not like by that name. But you have to study and dig to find out really what these meanings are and what they're pointing to, right? So let's talk about that now. So first, let's look at Zechariah 5:9-11, which I think is speaking of female fallen angels that are around Babylon, okay, the new Babylon that's coming, Babylon the Great.
They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, with abomination.
Sorry, it's wrong. I went to Deuteronomy instead of Zechariah. Zechariah 5:9-11.
Then lifted I up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came out two women, and the wind was in their wings. For they had wings like the wings of a stork, and they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven.
Okay, so these are women, they have stork wings. Alright, looks like an angel, right? Okay.
Then said I to the angel that talked with me, Whither do these bear the ephah? And he said unto me,
To build it an house in the land of Shinar, and it shall be established and set there upon her own base.
Her own base, Shinar, Babylon. Okay, and if you read Zechariah 5, it's very interesting because it's pretty much pointing to like UFOs and so-called aliens and things like that. And you notice that these two women with the stork wings are lifting up the container, right? Or and they're lifting that thing up, which I wonder if it has to do with a UFO itself, right? Or like something like that, because if we look at the cherubim, the wheels were beside the cherubim, and the spirit of the cherubim were inside the wheels. So it's almost like the angels like are moving these wheels around, and their spirits inside of them. But humans may not be able to perceive the cherubim or these stork angel, fallen angel women that are moving it, back and forth, but they can see what's inside of it, like the Greys or whatever, reptilians or whatever. So it's interesting to think of it like that they move the wheels, okay? So you see that? So they have to do with Shinar, which is Babylon, and also it sets up a base there. And I've said this before in another video, and I sent a message to KJ about this because he made a video about, Hollywood and Babylon and stuff. And I wonder now with this, if we see an alien base or wherever they've come down to and set up, shop, if you will, if they, because it says, and set there upon her own base. Okay, so if we see a base there set up by these fallen angels, demons that are portraying themselves as aliens, then we'll know that that's Babylon, right? That's Babylon, because it says it'll be the land of Shinar. Okay. All right. So let's see. Also, we can see in Jeremiah 44, 7 and 7:18, and Jeremiah 44:19 says, the children gathered wood, and the fathers kindled the fire, and the women kneaded the dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. And when we burned incense to the Queen of Heaven and poured out drink offerings unto her, did we make her cakes to worship her and pour out drink offerings unto her without our men? Okay, so we know that it says gods here, but they're not like gods. They're fallen angels or demons, things like that. And they portray themselves as gods, like the Anunnaki portrayed themselves as gods to humans to have control over them. The fallen angels in Genesis, that type, Genesis 6, they portrayed themselves as gods so they could take the women and the men and all the other stuff. They always do that. Zeus, Olympians, all of them, they always act like that they're God. That's one reason why God gets upset, is because he's like, you're not gods, you're angels, and you're acting like that you're fallen angels on top of that, and you're trying to act like you're a God, and you're not. Dude, that's what Lucifer, Satan, the ancient dragon, that's what he tries to do. He wants to be like the Most High, even exalt himself above the throne of heaven, right? Okay, so you see that the Queen of Heaven is not a god. She's not even any of these things. She's just a fallen angel, or I believe that she's a fallen angel, not like a demon, because a lot of these things that they worship, like I can see the difference between Baal and Satan, right? Baal is a demon, okay? The Queen of Heaven and these other things are fallen angels, like Lucifer's a fallen angel, Ezrael, all these other ones, they're like fallen angels. And certain people take like Ezrael and Baal and Satan and they mix them all together, right? And they're of the same spirit, right? But it's not like the same entities, I believe. Okay. So you see that, okay, that they worship this Queen of Heaven. Okay, so it's a female. All right. They're posing as gods, okay? Like I was saying, you can see that in Deuteronomy 32, 16 through 17, where it says this.
Thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, with abominations.
And again, I'm sorry to stop it right there, but again, like I said in my video yesterday, strange gods, foreign gods, or alien gods, okay? Anunnaki came down whenever it was in history and portrayed them, and that could be Genesis 6 at the same time, but I'm not for sure about that. But like, strange gods. Again, King James translated strange gods, but if you look at what the Hebrew says, it says foreign or alien. Okay, it says warning them, they came down like acting like they're aliens from other planets or some other place, and they're not.
Provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not.
Right? Okay, and I wonder if, angels can't die because they're spirit, right? Same thing with the demons and the devils, like the spirits of the Nephilim, the giants and things. They couldn't die, so their spirits became demons that roamed on the earth to torment men, okay? I wonder if the fallen angels are almost the same way, like if they somehow get destroyed physically, if their spirits don't change from fallen angel into demonic, right? Or like, where is it? The Raphaim is different than the Nephilim. The Raphaim is like the dead evil spirits. So that would be like demons and stuff. So if the fallen angels somehow are destroyed or something like that, physically, do they become the Raphaim and then now they're demons, but like super demons or something, you know? I mean, it could be this also, that's why it says they sacrifice to devils and not to God, and not to God, to the God. They sacrifice to devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not. Okay, so the same thing. They sacrifice to devils, not to God, to gods whom they know not, to new gods that they came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. So even though that they're devils, he still calls them little g gods. So you see what I mean? It could be that's their spirit if they're physically been destroyed somehow. Okay. All right. Now let's look at speaking of the same type of thing about them posing as gods, but really that they're devils or fallen angels. We can see that in 1 Corinthians 10, 20 through 21. And if you read the whole chapter, you'll see that like they're sacrificing, and I believe a lot of this stuff is human sacrifice and stuff too, when he's comparing the sacrifices of the Old Testament with this that the pagans and stuff were doing at the time. It's interesting if you compare them, because human sacrifice has always been going on. It's still going on today. A lot of Satanists and stuff still do that stuff.
But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to God. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. Ye cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the table of devils.
Okay, and this also, the same type word that's used is the same type that's used in Deuteronomy 23, 16 and 17. Okay, so Paul and Moses are talking about the same things here, which is very interesting. You see, it just keeps going on and on, right? Okay, even into our day today. Okay, now speaking of Lilith again, we can see here, if you research it, that Psalms 91:5, thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night, nor for the arrows that flieth by day. Okay, terror by night, that was a name or a title given to Lilith. Okay, because like I said, succubus that would attack you at night while you're sleeping. What's more cowardly to attack people while they're sleeping, right? Satan always, in his fallen angel demons, they always attack people when they're at their weakest, right? So she's the terror by night, the succubus, okay? Also, we can see in Isaiah 34, 13 through 16 speaks about Lilith too.
And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof. And it shall be an habitation of dragons, and a court for owls. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there.
Okay, the screech owl, because it was known that when she lifted up, she changed forms from whatever she was before and made these loud screeches. And like a banshee, like that type of spiritual entity, like that kind of is associated with her in a way too. And it's also interesting to think that Moloch is an owl, okay? This also, I guess, could be some demonic thing that looks like an owl. The Greys almost look like owls, right? And Lilith, if she has some form, that she transforms into that, like Satan is a dragon, but yet people say that he makes himself look like a beautiful man too, because he used to be like, totally beautiful. So it's interesting to see that they can change these forms from something very angels of light that are beautiful to us to these hideous demonic like monsters, right? Okay.
And find for herself a place of rest. There shall
see a place of for her to rest.
The great owl make her nest, and lay and hatch and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, every one with her mate. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. And he hath cast the lot for them, and his hand hath divided it unto them by line. They shall possess it forever. From generation to generation shall they dwell therein.
Okay, so you see, like, it's crazy. It talks about dragons, and all this stuff. Like, okay, and that also has been known to be associated with the screech owl with Lilith. And it's interesting to see that. What does it say? There shall the great owl make its nest and lay. And hatch and gather unto its shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, every one with its mate. Now, isn't it interesting that fowls of the air, those type of things, are usually associated with demonic devils in the scripture, right? Like when Abraham was doing the sacrifice, fowls of the air came and started attacking it. They were demons, okay, and that's why darkness fell upon him and he fell asleep. Okay, same thing with you just see it like in Revelations. It says that fowls of the air that lodge in Babylon, which is the same thing we're speaking of here, is devils and demons. Okay, you can read that in Revelations. Also, is it interesting that it says that there shall the vultures also be gathered. What did Jesus say? When the eagles are gathered together, or it can be translated vultures are gathered together, there the body is. Okay, so I'm wondering if what he's talking about now is, I used to think that meant America in a way, but now I'm starting to, perceive maybe it's like where the body of the demon-possessed people are, because I believe that Revelations 9, that those locusts are demons that come and possess people. And most likely the people who have the mark of the beast, because it says they don't hurt or attack anyone who has the seal of God, the Holy Ghost. Okay, so if somehow the demons get into people or fallen angels or whatever because they have the mark of the beast through technology or whatever else. All right, so let's see. But okay, this is interesting too, because you notice how the Queen of Heaven, she accepted worship. Okay, so she's a fallen angel. Okay, she's a fallen angel just because she accepted worship. Lucifer, Satan, the great dragon, the ancient serpent, he is a fallen angel. One of the reasons you can tell is because he accepts worship. The beast from Revelations accepts worship. Okay, these are all evil things because they accept. The Pope kissed the ring. Did you know that kiss the ring means to worship? Okay, if you look it up, it means to kiss the ring means to worship. So men are worshiping the Pope when they're kissing his ring and things. Okay, it's very subtle, but you can see that what these things are evil and not of God, because you're only supposed to worship God, right? And because of that, you can tell that they're evil entities because they accept the worship. Holy angels and people even should not accept worship, and the holy angels don't. We can see that in Revelations 19:10. It says, "And I fell at his," and this is John, "I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus. Worship God, for the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy." Okay. Same thing, Revelations 29. "And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city." Oh, I put the wrong verse. I'm sorry. Hold on. Revelations 22. I put 20 instead of 22 when I typed it in. Let me just turn to it. He says, it's verse 8 and 9. And it's interesting because Jesus right up here in verse 7 says, "Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keep the sayings of the prophecy of this book." And then verse 8, "And I, John, saw these things and heard them. And when I had heard and seen, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel which shewed me these things. Then says he to me, See you do it not, for I am your fellow servant, and of your brethren the prophets, and of them which keep the sayings of this book. Worship God." Okay, so you see the holy angels will say, "No, don't worship me, worship God." Okay, but the fallen, the evil, they're like, "Yeah, give me worship, give me worship." Okay, you see that? All right. Remember, angels. Okay, but angels can change their form. All right, I talked about it before, but it's 2 Corinthians 11:14. And marvel, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Okay, transformed. So I just think that's interesting because like there's the Queen of Heaven, there's Lilith, there's these Stork women. I mean, there's, and I'm sure in other like other beliefs or so-called religions or whatever, or ancient tales, there's these women gods. Like well, the Queen of Heaven is Isis and all that, and Columbia and all that, and but like in the Epic of Gilgamesh and all these other things, they talk about female gods, right? And in Olympian, there were female gods, right? Okay, so see that? Okay, but they're not really gods; they're fallen angels, male and female. Okay, all right. And then when they take on that form in some, okay, I think y'all get it. Okay, all right. Thank you guys. Wake and watch for Yeshua. God is love, and I love God. Amen.